Welcome. The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghost of Georgia, was released in 2013 and was directed by Tom Elkins. It stars Abigail Spencer and Chad Michael Murray, who you guys might know from A Cinderella Story. And it's about a family that moves to a historic southern home where they're face to face with a malevolent force. Oh man, so this movie has an 86% audience like this, and a lot of raving reviews about it, and I was pretty excited for it when my friends turned it on. And within the first minute, I was like, oh no. And man, did it get worse as the movie went on. I can tell you right now, I have no idea why so many people love this movie and give it 5 stars out of 5 stars and all of that. It is beyond me. I have no idea. You know, maybe talking about it in this review will make me appreciate this movie more, which I highly doubt because this was terrible. I mean, first things first, let's just get out of the way the best thing about this movie, which is Chad Michael Murray. And let me just say that he is one very, very beautiful man. I mean, I couldn't stop looking at his eyes throughout this whole entire movie. He is absolutely gorgeous and so handsome. My attention and just grabbed me by the hands, and oh my god, does he probably have the biggest oh my god, is he just such an attractive looking man. But alright, let me stop talking about Chad Michael Murray, or else I could just go on for days. He is great in this movie. His acting is fantastic. He is the best part. In terms of some other pros I have with this movie, there are some unsettling images that we see. It's unfortunate that they're very far and few between because they decided to go to random flashbacks that we saw 5 minutes ago, to go to a flashback that we've never seen before, to go back to that 5-minute flashback that we just saw, to go to a little unsettling image, to go back to a flashback from 10 minutes ago. That's what this movie felt. And during all that time, all of the lights would be flashing and it would go between black and white, back to color, then some weird orange tint to the black and white, then, oh my god, what is that? Is that a potato sack? Back to normal. Back then to Station Master. So much was happening. And I hated that. But there were some unsettling images that were seen in this movie. I will say, I failed to mention that this is based off of a true story. There is a real Mr. Gordy he's a character in this movie, but he was real in real life. It's a very interesting story. I think it was on Buzzfeed's Unsolved Mysteries, so if you want to check that out, Tina will leave a link to it in the description. But unfortunately, this movie does such a bad job of portraying it and takes so many different liberties of the original story. And man, did I not like this movie. So, in terms of cons, like I've been saying, the different flashbacks to black and white, to orange tint, back to black and white, to a flashback in color, back to the normal days in black and white, back into color. There was so much happening on the screen, and it becomes way too much. It isn't scary at all. Like, you could tell that they were like, oh, this is going to be really scary. We're going to flash between flashbacks to get into a jump scare, to then go into black and white, to go into another jump scare, into an unsettling image. It was not scary. It was not scary. It was just really, really annoying and bad. Other than that, I mean, the acting is fine. There wasn't a very stellar performance to be had within this movie. It just wasn't good. I mean, for a true story, you would expect there to be more. You'd expect there to be more to this story, and that they would try to at least stick a little bit more to the original story. But what we get is we get a whiny mom character who is so annoying. He was like, oh, I hate seeing ghosts. I don't want my daughter to see them. Oh, my sister, why are you doing this to her? Oh, I hate this. Oh. That was such a bad representation, but that's what it felt like the entire movie. And then we have a sister character in this movie who was like, well, if you can pull milk from a mule, then you could get gas for a few miles, and have those weird anecdotes like that throughout this movie. to like narrow it down into one major flaw to this movie, it's the writing. The dialogue is complete dog shit. And the writing for what was a cool true story is just so awful. And we have so many whiny characters, so many stupid decisions that take place. And I know it's because it's based off a true story, but there becomes a point where it becomes so unrealistic from the true story. And we've reached that point. And to top it off with the really terrible bad CGI effects, to the bad flashbacks and all of that, it just made this such a terrible watch and not fun at all. Making fun of it with friends was probably the highlight to watching this movie, but at what cost? Before I give my ranking of this movie, I do want to read a Google review that there is, and I don't want to flash it on the screen or who it's by because I don't want to make it seem like I'm making fun of this person, although I kind of am. I just kind of want to read this because I don't understand why this person thinks this, and I would love to have a conversation to find out. But they gave it 5 out of 5 stars and said, okay, in my opinion, this is by far the best horror movie I have ever seen. If you're into history, mystery, a love thriller, this is by far the best movie you will ever see. I hope they make a part 2 of this movie. I have watched it probably more than 3 times now. I don't know where the love thriller came within this movie. There is no love thriller in this movie. If anything, I thought the husband was cheating on the wife the whole time with the sister. There's no love thriller. I don't understand. First off, the best movie you've ever seen. That is sad. First off, that's sad. That is sad. But a love thriller, the best movie you will ever see. Well, guys, you heard it here first. This is the best movie you will ever see. I want to read one more review. This one, unfortunately, they didn't give stars, but they said, this is one of best movie I have ever watched. And the ending scene when Mr. Gordy disappeared, that's time I'm getting emotional. Me too. Me too. So, overall, I give this movie a 3.5 out of 10. And I don't recommend it. Watch the original. The Haunting in Connecticut is a decent movie and is far superior to the sequel. So thank you everyone for watching this review. And I hope you enjoyed it. You know, I try to make it fun because if I didn't, then it would have just been me hating on this movie the entire time. And I didn't want that because that's not very fun to watch. I would rather have a little bit more fun attitude about everything, which I try to have throughout this review. But if you enjoyed this, be on the lookout for more reviews in the future. But let's flash forward to the next review.